So, good evening to all of you once again. So, we are going to begin a very powerful session of a powerful topic, which says we are talking about portfolios and anecdotes. We are living in now a global world. Gone are the days we had our schools and our coming school, going back home, that was just our community. Now we are facing the big world, and we are getting to know the ways of the world. So it becomes very important to document each and everything that we are doing. So, as educators, we begin with our students. So, recently, teachers, you all are aware, the special scheme of examination has come up by the CBSE. The CBSE has changed the pattern of assessing the students, and how beautifully they have put up that how our students should be assessed. I take class 12. In class 12, just recently we have finished with our PT1. Till last year, I was telling them, children, this PT1, we are preparing you for the big exam, the end session exam, the board exam. This is the preparation of that. But now the scenario is different. What we are doing now, the PT1 is a board exam itself. So whatever internal examination, whatever little examination that we are taking with our children, counts in their board exam. And my dear educators, it has kept us and our students at toes. They are aware, oh, this also little marks are going to be added in that big score. So it's a win-win situation for both educators and the students. So the students cannot be, they cannot lag behind. They always have to be on their toes, preparing themselves each day and learning globally, as again I say. Uh, I'm not going into much detail about the scheme of examination, just touching upon it. Yes, there'll be two terms, one term which will be in, as they say, in the month of November to December, and what all has been covered till then and tested will not be repeated again. So this is something new that has come for our children. But it's good when we are assessing, when in, if you talk about class 9 and 10, it's the same for them. They have their subject enrichment examinations, they have their subject enrichment activities, they have their multiple assessments, they have their portfolio. And today we are going to talk about that portfolio. What is that portfolio? Subject enrichment activities happening. All right, multiple assessment. We understand that we are taking it in the form of quizzes, we are taking it in the form of debates, declamation, that all will come together in our multiple assessment. But now, when we are talking about the portfolio, what goes into the portfolio? See, the portfolio has to be, it is the creation of portfolio is suggested to broaden the scope of learning, and it offers the possibility of assessing more complex and important aspects. So we, like in class 10, I tell my children, so wherever they participate, they, what do they do? I remember when we were at school, we were maintaining portfolios, those bulky, heavy files, and teachers also looking for space, where to organize them, where to keep them. Luckily, in the pandemic, it is so easy for us all to keep them, to organize them. So I'll show you some examples, some samples, how they have to be kept and how we keep them. Right. So right now, when we are talking about portfolio, so what I suggest and what we do at our school, we maintain portfolios subject-wise so that it becomes very simple and easy for the teachers to assess them, and also for the students to maintain them. Right? Okay, let me take you to the next one. First of all, yes, we have to understand what is portfolio. We are talking about it. that it is, we can say that children keep their collection of their activities, whatever they have been doing, in an organized manner. So as we say, as we started our session today, that they are going to the big world. So when we say that they are going to the big world, we are trying to say that yes, there they have to showcase what they do when they make their CVs, they are making their profiles. So what is that? We are preparing them for that. We are training them, we are educating them how to maintain their portfolios, their exemplary tasks, how they have to maintain. Right? It can be, they can consider as a journal, as a folder. For example, they are keeping it safely in their hardware, in the computer system, making a folder, and whatever achievements they have, whatever participations they have, they keep on adding to it. And as and when they keep adding to it, they are maintaining it. So it becomes very important for the student to know that what kind of portfolio they have to maintain. So we can designate, yes, like in our school, we designate in the complete session, we are going to have 5 multiple assessments, 5 subject enrichment activities, and 5 something should come in the portfolio. Along 5 something, when we say yes, they can in their portfolio add their multiple assessment, add their subject enrichment activities, but apart from that, they should have 5 activities that will showcase what did they do in the while they were in their school. For example, uh, one student participated while we are in the global arena. There is so much happening around, so many competitions, so many children, because as I said, that we are not only preparing children to just mug up the content and produce that content, we are sensitizing to them the real world situation, the real world problems which they are going to face when they step out. So, as you say that, yes, it is better to begin when they are young, inculcating little habits in them, making them participate. Like we have our quiz sessions at school, house activities at school, and children participate in it. And those who are participating, winning, it's a good thing that they add their winning certificates, but the participation certificates, it adds to their portfolios. And when they look at their portfolio, they also feel, oh, wow, this is what I have done. And this much is left. Let me participate in more activities. So your portfolio should act as a motivator to them, right? You should be talking to them. You that what more, how rich they can make their portfolio, how can they enhance their portfolio activities. That is really very, very important for the students. All right. So how we are going to prepare. So I remember a few years back in our school, our report cards, used to have those graphs, graph telling about that in your class, how many students are getting this much percentage marks, how many are getting this much percentage marks. But it seemed to us as a dampener. I mean, no motivation could be seen therein. So what did we do? We did away with that particular graph from the report cards. We said it is not doing any good. It is not bringing any good to our children. So we brought in a graph where a child is setting his or her own benchmark. The child is saying, yes, today I am here, today I am at this level, and now I have to take myself a level above. So that's a beauty of it. So in the portfolio also, child is looking at the exemplary work, that what kind of work I am uh, collecting, I'm organizing, I'm going to show it to my teachers, my peers. So at the end of the session, it should be something that, yes, would talk about me, that wow, I have been doing such kind of work. Yes, I need special appreciation. Who does not like appreciation? But how does the appreciation come? One has to work for it. So similarly, these little things we have to incorporate in our students. We have to tell them how they have to make it very creative. Nowadays, so many tools are available to us. When we talk about, we have those Adobe tools also. Our children are making beautiful posters. They can make their videos also very beautifully. So all this is something, yes, giving our, all right, the volume is low. I'll just increase it. Thank you. So now, this is how we want that our children to make their portfolios. Their portfolios have to be extensively made, and uh, keeping their own benchmarks, keeping ensuring that they move further with that portfolio. All right. The next slide. Just a moment. So when it comes to the portfolio is made, we know about the portfolio. Now, when it comes to the assessing of the portfolio, we are talking that the portfolio has to be assessed. So what will the teacher look into the portfolio? The teacher will be looking at, that is the portfolio being made nicely, or when we are looking at the physical things that is there. But yes, also, like I am just talking to you about the Spark posters and how they maintain their portfolio, that all counts. So it determines, like the educator has to see, was the instruction followed, are the instructions followed by the student, is the work kept in the portfolio is relevant, or whatever they are finding, they are just filing it. So that is also not taken granted for. The students also have to be very careful what all they add in their portfolios. But a word of caution goes here. Educators' portfolios need to be developed in an easy to manage form, and they need to be meaningful. And when we say simple, accessible, and they should not burden students, both in terms of cost and time. So when we talk about cost, no cost is going on. We are in the virtual mode, and keeping just adding it to our folders, correct? And when we talk about time, it is some participation, it is some learning. So whatever, wherever the child is participation, some learning, some growth is happening by and by. So we have to be very careful. What meaningful task are we giving to our students? Are they learning from it? When we talk about learning, we have to be very careful about the 21st century skills, the 4 C's. Are they being achieved? Collaboration, critical thinking, are they being creative? So these all really matters. Are they able to communicate effectively by virtue of their portfolios? So it becomes really, really important. Bala ma'am, please mute your mic. Thank you.
Yes.
So I am going to the topic of anecdote, but what portfolios I have been talking to you at the end of the session, of the end of the slides, I'm going to show you some sample of the portfolios which our school students have done, how they have done, what all have they been collecting. I will showcase all that to you once I'm done with my slide. So, anecdotal record. Anecdotal record is a wonderful tool that CBSE asks us to maintain. It's a wonderful tool to assess our child. It's a wonderful tool that the smallest little thing of the child we know about him or her. So it is not asking you to note the negative traits that you find in the child. It is that you note down, you take notice of the positive things also about the child. So it's a brief, revealing account of an individual person, a story with a point, such as to communicate an abstract idea about a person, place. It is a short narrative to characterize and it delineates a specific trait about the students. So it is very important for us to know. Anecdotes mean you are just observing your child. You're observing the little points of the student. So not one specific student, but all the students of your class, all the students who you teach. So it is not the task of just the class teacher. When you are having your PTM, when you are reporting as a subject teacher, when a parent asks you about their child, so it is not just the class teacher who is speaking about the child, it is the subject teacher as well, wherein he or she has to tell about the progress of the child. And so a minute detail so is very important. So as we say to children, yes children, you are being observed when you just enter the school gates. So that is not something that we are instilling fear in them. We are wanting our children to be conscious about their acts, because their actions are only which become their habit, and their habits will become their character. So we have to be, like students, educators, we also have to be very conscious. We have to be conscious about our acts. After all, we are the role models for our children. How we behave, how we conduct is reflected in our children. So it goes for both of us. All right. Let me take you to the next slide. All right. So this is one sample slide which I picked up of my students, of my one student, Rajat. So in our school, what do? We keep the same teachers in class 11 and 12. So when I was taking their class 11, I am taking with the same bunch of students, I am taking their class 12 as well. All right. So when I'm taking their class 12 as well, so this particular child was really struggling in class 11. He did not attend because of some or the other reason. Uh, something, sadly, his father also passed away in the corona, but other reasons also. But this particular child was never regular to class. If the child is not regular to class, how would you expect him to do well in his studies? One who is regular, you see the difference in their performance. So this particular child, I had to take his viva, and I was not very hopeful. Yes, I had to conduct, and I briefed him what all would be asked, etc. So when he joined and he put up his presentation, I was in awe. I really appreciate. I was really amazed to look at his presentation, whether he picked it up from, yes, everything is available on the net, but the way he explained it was just beautiful. He adhered to my instructions. When we say that children, you've made the PPT, whatever is written is for the person who is sitting across reading. You don't have to read your lines. You have to explain it in your own words. So I could see that. I could see that whatever instructions have been given to him, whatever briefing has been given to him, it is being followed by him. Then, yes, he cleared class 11, he got into class 12. Then he used to attend classes. But after vacation on June 10, when we joined back, for initial few days, he was not there present. So on June 10, I was very heavy heart. I was not happy that this particular child is not present in the class. So I noted down that Rajat did not attend school. He's not coming. So I thought I will change it the next day if he comes. but for few days he was absent. But around 15 days or so, he started coming to the class, and he is regular now. And he is amongst one of those students who is answering in class, who is very interactive in class. He's always there, you know. So that was for me to note down and take it down in my book that yes, he's there. So maintaining the anecdotal record, this is a document that I made on the Word, and I keep adding columns to it month-wise. And in the end, I'm going to put my teacher's signatures to show you that how our anecdotal record comes. I put my signatures here. I'll be adding in August. So it's not necessary that you have to record monthly. You can do it bi-monthly. So it will depend upon student to student. It will depend, yes, somebody you want to, some child is such that you want to record his activities weekly, somebody monthly, bi-monthly, whatever it depends upon the student, and yes, the teacher also, the observer also. So it is something, so it, as I said, not only the negative, the positive behavior also has to be noted down well, dear educators. The purpose of an anecdotal is not to get a child in trouble. It is a tool which should also be used to help the child. So if you show him this, see, how did you do during the past few months? First, you were irregular. Then you were regular and you started participating. This is something that we know about. This is something that we are happy about. And if you continue the same, so your report at the end of the year, when we have to give your character certificate, it really helps the school and the teacher to write about you, to talk about you. So it is a wonderful tool in the educator's hands. Please, teachers, make well use of this particular tool. So I will just few lines I had noted. Some Sergeant Joe Friday would say that you have to note just the facts. So it should be that it should read as detached, unemotional accounting of an incident. All entries should include the date, the time. All right, mine time is missing. I'll add that also next time, the activity and the specific event. That all should be noted down. That is going to help you in the long run. Coming on to the next slide. As I said, I'm done with my portfolio and the anecdote. And I think if you have any questions, I'll just take it up with you. That what should be in the portfolio, we've discussed, why portfolio is maintained, how it is to be assessed by the educator. I'm going to show you some sample of the portfolios. Anecdotal record is the record that the educator is going to maintain. So I have made a folder, and in that folder I have kept my students' word files in their names. So whatever I have to add to it, I keep adding as and when I notice something and I feel that this has to be recorded. This is something that I should always be in knowledge of, and something that I can share with the class teacher, with the head of the school. So it is something very important for me to know. So if I click on one of the portfolios, yes, teachers, you can make portfolios on a Wakelet. So Wakelet is a wonderful tool. In the chat window, I am just writing where you can have access to Wakelet. So whatever be your account, Gmail or whatever, Hotmail, Yahoo, so Microsoft Outlook account. So www.wakelet.com. If you go there, you can open your Wakelet account, and your students can also open their Wakelet account. Wakelet account our children are using as their portfolios, and yes, as educators we can maintain it as our profile. It can be our CV also. If we have to give our CV somewhere, we can give our Wakelet link to them for them to see what we are doing. All right, and if you have your 365 teachers, you can maintain the portfolios. If your school is on 365 account, your students can maintain their portfolios on OneDrive, OneNote. So you get them at the click of a link. Very easy to get it. And if you have your Google Classrooms, you can maintain it in the Google Drive. All the documents can be kept very safely. So I'm just going to see, do I move out from this window? Okay, let me come here. Can you see my screen yet or no?
Yes, ma'am, it's recommendation portfolio and I've got slide only.
What can you see? I have gone to the portfolio which I have clicked. No, I'll share my screen again. I'll share my screen again. When I clicked on one of the links and screen. Yeah. So this is the first link that I clicked. So, okay, just a moment. So this particular child, in her portfolio, she's participated in the Independence Day. And right now I have not clicked the volume. Cannot hear the volume. This girl participated in a Independence Day presentation and she gave us her video. So that also she has kept in her portfolio, that she participated in the Independence Day. So what a beautiful thing. So this girl on online international public speaking championship, she participated. So what a beautiful way to remember this. Otherwise you keep forgetting, children keep participating in so many activities and they do not remember which one did they participate. And as we tell students, the participation matters. The process matters more than the product. So though she got a participation certificate, but yes, she went ahead, she prepared for it. So much of learning happened during the participation. So that becomes very important. So the child participated in various other projects. So she has all accounted, she has all kept it in one place, organized in one place. So I think she's a French student, so she's made her French project. So all kept in one together. So what is portfolio? The portfolio wherein the child, whatever the child is participating, so whoever is following the Microsoft thing, we have this annual thing, GLC, which will not continue in the next session, but this was the last one. And this shows that yes, the child participated, she was there with her teacher preparing for it. So much of learning, so much of global exposure is happening when the child participates, and that we can see here just looking at it. All right, somebody is in the lobby. Sumita, if you could enter, somebody is there. Thank you. So we see here one poster that she made. So such like things. All right, if I come back to my class and okay, where has it gone? So similarly, I'll just show you the other as well. Just a moment. I have to switch windows again and again because these are the links. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm sure you all are also maintaining portfolios with students, because this is expected of us. Okay. All right. So this particular student, she has her English subject-wise, she's made her folders, English, Hindi, IT, Math, Science, SST. She has added her art integrated projects as well, her extracurricular activities as well. So this is such a wonderful feature when we see, yes, the activities she has put in here. The notebook work also she has put in here, because while we were at school, there were notebook marks also. And if the child keeps the notebook somewhere and is unable to look for it, and would easily get everything here. So the children have been really okay maintaining class notebooks, the e-notebooks, wherein they are completing their work and sharing it with their teacher. So this is something nice. So I wanted to show you when I'm talking about the Wakelet as well. So when we talk about the Wakelet, so I made this particular thing for my student, Vidita Verma, right? So if we are asking our children to maintain their portfolios on their in the Wakelet. So this Wakelet account I have, so I created this math space for her wherein she can edit. If I'll share, I can invite her and edit it. She can keep on adding her maths activities in it. Similarly, there can be collections made for different subjects wherein the children can organize it. So this can be a very beautiful organizer. And one thing more which I would like to show you is for my anecdotal records, like I've made files in the name of my students. So one particular file I showed you of Rajat Sehrawat. So it is like you also, teachers, can maintain such files with yourself. Keep adding columns to it and keep doing your task. So it is very simple. And I would also like to show you, we've seen on OneDrive. So there are portfolios that the students have been making, on simple Word files, and making their PDFs, sharing with their teachers. So this particular child, he has made 89 pages folder. That means he has been adding to his folder. Okay. So, this child, I see maths work. Okay, this is all maths that he has put. So whatever, some SST project I see here. The children can keep it handy. So that it is easy to locate for the student, for the teachers also, when they give it to them. And Kamakshi Garg, this one particular folder. So this child has made her portfolio subject-wise, as we were discussing before. So in her English, she's kept all her activities, multiple assessment, assignments, notebook. She's kept her portfolio. She's, making it very wonderfully. The child has organized. So this can be your beautiful organizer as well. All right, so I have shown you how I document my anecdotal records and how my students keep their portfolios. All right. Yes. So if you have any question to ask, please feel free to ask. Thank you, Ekta. So happy that it is of some help to you in your classroom. I will share that link. Yes, Rebecca, you're correct. We have been using it extensively in our schools, especially teachers in classes 9 and 10. I'm happy that you find it helpful. Thank you. Your suggestions, teachers, all welcome. We are learning from each other. Thank you, Mala ma'am. And I will share the link again, wherein you can get your participation certificate that you attended today's session. I'll just paste the link in the chat window once again, who arrived when it was shared, who have arrived later than that. I'll just So I'm an educator, and in this global world now, we are all together. And in my slides, you would have seen my Twitter account therein, and we can surely follow each other to learn each other, to grow with our PNL. So I'm so I'm so thankful to all of you, and thank you for attending this session and making it meaningful. Thank you so much. I have shared the link in the chat window. You will get your participation certificate if you fill in your detail. So Mala ma'am, you were able to fill in your detail in the link?
Ma'am, I submit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Heartening to know.
Submitted a wonderful session, informative.
Thank you.
Digitally, you maintain. For us, the technical issues will be there now to maintain in it. Yes, which subject, ma'am, you're taking?
I am a history teacher. I take history subject with classes 11 and 12.
Oh, grade 12, history is there.
Yes. And pandemic has really made us, IT strong also.
Yes,
so,
yes.
And more thanks to the Microsoft as well, that so many tools for us.
Correct.
We've been growing with them.
Yes, ma'am. It's wonderful session.
Yeah.
Really, now we need all these documentation.
I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, I think so we can wind up the session if there are no more questions. Never asked any questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. See you all. Okay, I'll wait here for 2-3 minutes. If anybody has something to ask, please feel free to ask. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much.